Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's all about love, roses, and making a great meal for your significant other. So let's get started. First off, we're going to start with dessert. We're going to do an apple rose. You're really going to like this. It's very impressive. We're going to start off with a bright red apple. I'm going to go ahead and core that out. Okay, now when you buy this, you want to go to the store, you want to get the reddest apple you can find. We're going to leave the skin on and you'll see why later. Once we've cored it, we're going to go ahead and cut it in half. Okay, now we're going to cut both ends off. So we get behind that big radius on the end there. And we're going to go ahead and do slices of this. And you want to slice this paper thin. Just as thin as you can get it. You want to be able to almost see through these slices. Okay, you can see that knife going down through there. You can see right through them. Now, once you got those slices done, I'm going to go ahead and take a bowl of water. I'm going to cut a lemon in half. Squeeze the juice from half of that lemon into that bowl of water. There you go. Now we're going to go ahead and put our apple slices in there. This is going to keep them from turning brown on us. Okay, that's what the lemon juice does. Now we're going to stick those in a microwave and we're going to put it on high for 3 minutes. What that's going to do is limber that apple up so it will roll for us and it won't break. Now what we got here is just a box of flaky pastry. Make sure it says flaky pastry on the box, not pie pastry or pie crust. We're going to take the sheet out, put a little board flour down, and we're going to roll it out. Make sure you roll those seams real good so that they go together. Alright, once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and take our knife and we're going to cut this into strips that are just about 3 inches wide. Maybe just a little bit less. Now we're going to take one of our strips and we've got some sugar and cinnamon mix here and we've sprinkled it over that strip of that flaky pastry. We've dried off our apple slices with some paper towel and we're going to go ahead and lay those across the top of this flaky pastry strip so that they're sticking out. Okay, you don't want the opening where you cored the apple to stick above the top. You want that just below that edge. And you want to situate those so that the lead edge of that apple just covers up that opening where you cored the apple on the other piece. You get the idea here when you see how I lay these down. We're just going to go ahead and overlap those till we get to the end. Now if it doesn't come out perfect at the end, just cut the end of the pastry off. It won't hurt it. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and take our pastry and we're going to fold it in half. What we want to do is encase these apple slices in between these two slices of pastry. Now just pat that down nice and flat. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more apple and or cinnamon and sugar on top of that. Pat that into it so it doesn't fall off. We're going to roll it over. Make sure that we got some cinnamon and sugar on both sides of this. And we're going to take one end and we're going to roll it up. Just as simple as that. It's as easy as it can be and you won't believe the result. There you have it. An apple rose. What could be easier? Now to cook this, we're going to take a ramekin. That's just one of these little ceramic things. We're going to butter it up and put some of that sugar and cinnamon in there. If you don't have a ramekin, just use a metal cupcake pan. It'll work fine. Now we got a couple of skillets here that we would normally use for fajitas. We've put some butter down on the bottom, and on top of that we've laid some white asparagus and we've taken some yellow skin yams and sliced those on the diagonal the same thickness as the asparagus so they'll cook evenly. And we poured a little white wine into each pan. I'm going to go ahead and put some aluminum foil over top of this and seal these up as best we can with some aluminum foil. What we want to do is we want to try to not only grill these vegetables in these pans, but we want to try to steam them a little bit with that white wine that we poured in there. You don't want to put a lot of white wine in there, just a little. Now we're going to do a radish rose. The only difference is we don't have to core a radish. We're just going to take it and cut the end off, and we're going to slice it paper thin just like we did the apple. This is actually going to be a little bit thinner than the apple because it's a lot smaller. So when you buy these, make sure you buy the biggest radishes you can possibly find. That'll make it a lot easier for you. Now those we're going to put into a bowl of salt water. And we're going to pop those in the microwave for 1 minute. Let them cool off. Take them out of the water. Put them on a paper towel. And we're going to dry these off really well. This will not work if you don't get these really good and dry. Okay, they tend to slip if you don't. We're going to overlap them like we did the apple, but there's no pastry involved here. It's just the slices of the radish. So you overlap them about halfway, you make a long line, and then you roll them up from one end to the other. When you get done, stick a toothpick through the middle, stick another one 90 degrees off the other way. Stick that in some cold water. Okay, let's get down to our protein. We've got 2 really nice filet mignons here. Now, if you have any silver skin on these, like I did on mine, you want to go ahead and trim that off. You want to trim off any gristle and any fat that's on these. Okay, these are not meant to have any of that stuff on them. Typically, you'll see these in the butcher shops and in the stores, and they'll be wrapped in bacon. I prefer not to have them wrapped in bacon because I happen to like the taste of steak, and these steaks will cook up delicious. Right, we've trimmed these up. All we did was we put a little bit of salt on both sides of them. That's all the seasoning you're going to need on these steaks. I'm going to go ahead, set them on the side. That takes care of the turf portion. Now for the surf. We've got 5 Patagonian giant shrimp in each one of these skillets with some Amish country rolled butter on the bottom there. We're going to put that on there and put some Old Bay seasoning on them. Okay, we preheated the gas side of our grill to 375 degrees. We put our 2 ramekins with our apple roses on the top shelf and our 2 pans on the bottom. 45 minutes later, open it up. Our apple roses are done. Now we're going to leave those pans in there with the vegetables until the steaks are done. On the right side of our 50-50, we've got a beautiful charcoal fire here. We use lump charcoal. We're going to sear those steaks, and we're going to set those shrimp down there. Going to push them over there by the fire and let them cook. Okay, we cooked these steaks to medium rare. If you look at our shrimp, they're white, they're done. Time to plate this up. Right, everything's done. We plated it up. We got a little whipped cream with some little candy hearts on our rose. Our vegetables are done. We put a little sprinkle of maple syrup on those yams. Our Patagonian shrimp on the plate with our steak and our wine. Enjoy.